Plaintiff Janetta Ford says her grandmother raised her and her brother, the defendant, and because he was the only boy, her grandmother spoiled him to keep him off the streets. However, Janetta claims the defendant still ended up in the streets, and at the age of 17, he was convicted of selling heroin. Janetta is suing her brother for breach of contract. Defendant Johnny Ford admits that despite his grandmother's best efforts, he ended up on the streets and in trouble with the law. Johnny claims when his son was born, it was a wake-up call, and he's been trying to turn his life around ever since.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing your brother for $275 for a breach of contract?
Yes, I
Start
am.
with you.
Okay, so growing up, me and my brother grew up in foster care, and when my granny took us in,
What age?
I was 7, so he was 1.
Mm-hmm.
So she took us all in because she didn't want us separated. We all grew up together. By him being the only boy in the house, my granny did everything for him, spoiled him, because I kind of knew what she was saying. Like, she didn't want the streets to get him and stuff like that. So, she'd buy him the new Jordans and stuff. So I'd be like, dang, Granny, help us out, do something nice for us. But I understood what she was doing with him. And so we actually grew up doing that. Spoiling him, giving him stuff. And
he was the only boy.
He was the only boy.
Y'all tried to make him the man of the house, but as you say, he was a boy.
He was a boy.
That happens a lot.
Whatever she tried to do, he still ended up going to the streets. You feel me? At 17, my brother got convicted of selling heroin and was on house arrest. And then another incident, my brother was a straight A student. Straight A student. Dropped out in high school his last year. Dropped out. So I'm like, that was the dumbest thing to ever do. Drop out your last year. But lo and behold, we ended up just giving him stuff, taking him, because this my baby. I love my brother. He's just bogus.
Okay. Bogus. You make an observation about what you're saying, and that is a lot of times, because there's a lot of fatherless homes, there might be a young boy in the house, or the only boy, as you're saying, and the women try to overcompensate, and you turn them into babies, and you raise them, and they still are babies, and they move in with women, live off women. Women's supposed to take care of me because that's what has happened all my life. I'm the baby boy. That whole syndrome comes from women treating men or young boys like babies, babying them and spoiling them, and that's where you get that whole, hey, baby boy, hey, he's the man of the house, or they call him little man. That's my baby.
Always.
You're a boy growing up into a man, and so when that happens, you kind of handicap him, and so sounds like that's what you're suggesting happened.
Yeah.
I'll let him give his side, sir.
Okay, well, my grandma did spoil me when I was a child, as they say. I was the only boy in the house. She tried to keep me away from the streets, I couldn't make a lot of decisions on my own as a child because she thought for me. Like, she knew what was right and what was wrong. So as I got older, 13, I started smoking weed, I made my own group of friends.
Didn't ask grandma about that one.
Right.
No,
I started making that decision for you.
I started making my own choices in life, because it was around that time, you got to think for yourself.
How'd that work out for you?
Well, not so good. Not so good. I started dragging myself in the hole. 17, I got convicted of my first felony, selling heroin. Didn't turn out so good. 2 years on probation, some time on house arrest. Didn't look quite nice. 2015, I was on house arrest. Later on down the line, a female comes saying, I have a child. So
Did you
now,
get convicted the second time? Said your first felony.
Yeah, I only have one felony.
Okay.
That was my first case and my last case.
All right, good.
So later on down the line, a female come to me saying she's pregnant, this and that. So I had to man up. I had to take a DNA test. Take the DNA test, child come back, is mine.
All right. And how long ago was that?
This was my son was born March 12th. So I just recently found out.
Okay, good. You're gonna take care of him financially, emotionally, and do everything a father should do?
Yes.
Good. So let me hear why he owes you $275.
Okay, so on March 16th, he asked me for a loan to get his bike fixed, a $375 to get his bike fixed. And so I told him, okay. So I gave him the $375 to get his bike fixed. So he told me when he got his taxes, he was gonna pay me back.
Yeah, right.
He said he was gonna pay me back. And so he gave me $100 so far, and then just stopped paying. Bro, where my
When did he give you the 100?
In April, when he got his taxes.
All right, so he kept some of his word, 30% of it.
He was supposed to keep it 100% because I kept my word. And then he thought he was gonna try to pinch it off to me. No, bro, I didn't give it to you piece by piece, so why you gonna give it to me piece by piece?
How much were the pieces?
$5, $10, $1 here, $1 there. Like I'm a little kid.
Yeah, I understand, but quite frankly, a lot of folks won't give you a dime. At least he was showing good faith. He was showing good faith, and that's my opinion. Was it you
Good
working?
faith was giving it to me.
He doesn't work?
He should never borrowed it then. Well, I should never gave it to him.
Thank you. How long has it been since you've worked?
It's been a while. I've been like job to job, like temp services. I was working at O'Hare. I was a passenger service assistant at O'Hare, working for.
That was a good job. What happened?
It was actually it's a long story.
No, make it long now. I want to hear what happened to this good job you had. Now that you have a baby, you're unemployed, you owe your sister money. What happened to a great job?
Well, it was me. I couldn't
What
blame
happened?
nobody but myself.
What happened?
I was coming late, you know. I was coming late. That was the big issue.
Like them payments late.
You have any defense to this?
No, Your Honor.
Yeah, you've depressed me now. Let me get you your money. $275 is your judgment. That's horrible, man. You get out of a prison situation, get out of the drug life, you get a good job. And now you won't even come to work on time? Jump for the plane.
Bro, you thought this was
I still love you.
my money? Pay me my money. That's all you had to do.
This is gonna be forever be my sister. I still love her.
You know I love you, bro.
But at the end of the day, you forever be this. I still love you though.
I love you too.